All right, so I was asked to do a review on a Shimano SLX DC. I have never owned one. I bought one for Cade for Christmas, the man behind the camera. This review is going to consist of multiple parts. One, well, I've got a nice 10-15 mile an hour crosswind right now. We're going to take it, we're going to cast it in the wind. We're going to see if an adult that is an advanced user has any use for this reel. Is this a reel for beginners, for intermediate, for experts? What is this reel? First off, we're going to have Cade. Got it for Christmas. He's never casted a bait caster before. So that's going to be our first test. Second test is how far can I cast this thing? Third test, we're going to turn around, cast it in the wind, and just kind of get an idea of what this thing's for. I think this thing retails for around 200 bucks, give or take. But it's a pretty neat. You have it looks like a regular reel. It's got the tension knob here, and over here are gears, and they go 1 through 4. 4 being the highest power for this thing. And what it is inside here is a computer that reads the way the reel's spinning and kind of throttles it up or down or whatnot to hopefully, maybe we're going to find out in this review whether or not it helps you avoid backlashes or what I like to call professional overruns. All right, here we go with number 1, and this might be a mistake on my part. First off, I'd like to thank Needville High School for letting us use their practice football fields. I brought y'all out here because I have markers set up all the way out to 40 yards. I'd like to thank them. They don't know I'm here, but I'd like to thank them anyway, right? First test, because I think this is going to be a thing that a lot of people are asking, is it for beginners? Well, we have young Mr. Cade here, never casted one of these things in his life, and I might be making a mistake, because if he does figure out how to blow it up, then I'm gonna have a hard time doing the rest of the testing. So here we go. I have explained to Cade that punch the button, thumb on the spool, rear back, let it go. Right when you're ready to let it go, take it off the spool. And then you want your thumb to latch down on it again right before it hits, okay? So, Cade, you see the markers out there. See how far we can make it go. Right now I have the spool tightened up quite a bit to where whenever he clicks it in, the lure barely falls, and then I have the computer set on 4. Hi, are you nervous, Cade? You're not nervous? All right, you're seeing my man's first try. Give it a couple shots, see what you got. See how far you can get it out there. All right, so that one got at about 20 yards. Did it backlash at all? Nope. All right. I want you to send this thing, boy. All right? Full send. Hey, leave it hanging out just a little bit there you go, where you have a little bit of leverage on it. Fire! There you go. All right, so right now with everything tightened up, he's throwing it, 15 or 20 yards, which for a kid, if you're fishing birds or fishing a shoreline, I think it'd work just fine. You don't expect a young man to just launch it out there his first time. Go ahead and give it one more, Cade. There you go. That one went a little bit further. Cool. So what's your overall thought on it, Cade?
It goes far.
Cade says it goes far. I think it can go further, so I'm going to take my life in my hands and I'm going to back off of the tension spool. I'm going to still leave the computer turned all the way up to 4 so that it's helping him control it, but I'm going to let off on the tension spool, see what happens with this. So what we're going to do is this thing right here, I'm going to turn it counterclockwise just a little bit. I'm going to turn it counterclockwise just a little bit to where he has a little bit less. There you go. All right, Cade, you're going to have a little bit less help now. Now you're really going to have to concentrate on getting that thumb control, okay? Let's see what you can get out of it. There you go. So I backed it off just a little bit. We're about 25 yards. So test 1, Mr. Cade here for his first time. I'd say for beginners that is past every test. Good reel. I've tried to blow this thing up a couple of times, and I can make it backlash. But as Scott says, this thing is made for fishing conditions and not me casting it into the side of a house, because I wanted to make it backlash. The one thing I did notice though is whenever it does backlash, it kind of overruns, but the backlashes are easier to get out. So we have our beginner test done. Now we're going to go to a more advanced user and see if it is something for advanced people to use or if this is just a beginner reel. All right, so Cade is off the reel, so I'm gonna crank this thing down to, I don't know, I think maybe your normal user would use it around 2 or so, and then keep that pretty. It's got some tension, not a whole lot. Let's see if we can get distance out of it. Take it. So I got probably 40 yards out of that one. And this is a frame. I'm not used to the frame on this reel. It's a little bit bigger than I've been using the 75, this is the 150. This is a 6.6 medium rod for those of you that are wondering. I'll see if I can get out there now. Man, that was close to 50. You got close to 50 on that one. So do I think that it would work good for somebody that's new? Yeah. Here in a minute, I'm gonna send Cade out there and see if I can't hit him with it. Then our last test, because we don't want this to be too terribly long. We just want the real stuff that people really care about. I'm gonna turn and cast it into the wind. Okay? And I'm not gonna use my little thumb techniques that I have that I use every day for in the wind. I'm gonna let it go just like I think, you know, your average fisherman would. So the wind is hitting me right in the face right now. It's probably got about 10 miles an hour on it. See what we can get done. I got about 30 yards on it. No kind of overrun whatsoever. Then one more test, just because I feel like seeing if I can really make this thing do its job. All right, so this one I'm gonna see if I can't make it mess up. I've got it cranked to 4. I've got the tension fairly tight. I'm gonna cast it out, and then while it's in the air, I'm gonna hold it like this and see what kind of overrun we get on that. So, and we go. And that got, I don't know, probably 35 yards out of it. Not bad. So overall thoughts on the Shimano DC. Guys, I'm not sponsored by Shimano. I know the guys, but anytime I review anything, you're getting the whole story. Overall thoughts, it worked really good for the beginner. I was casting in the wind how I would imagine an intermediate fisherman would. No kind of backlashes. I showed y'all that whenever I tightened it down like I had it for Cade, that I threw it out and just held it by the butt of the rod and it wouldn't overrun. And then I loosened it off like I think an advanced fisherman would and got it out there a good stinking ways. So overall, I think that this Shimano is, I think it's a good one. I think it's a good one. I can't talk to how long I think it'll hold up, but Shimano's been around a long time. They know what they're doing. I think it'll hold up just fine. So if you're into the SLX DC, maybe worth a shot. Also, I've been told that the Curado is worlds ahead of the SLX. So if this video does well, then we will compare the Shimano Curado to the Shimano SLX and see how that goes. All right, now I've got Cade out there, shoot 55, 60 yards if I had to guess. See if I can't get it to him with this thing. All right, there it is. And for those of you that are asking, I'm throwing a 3/8 ounce plug, I believe this is. All right, so general consensus is, I think this reel is great for young people. I think it's great for intermediate fishermen. And I think it would work for your expert level guys. I mean, this thing really, it bombs it out there. Cade, you mind if I borrow your reel to chase some schools of redfish? He said he does mind. But yeah, overall flying colors for the SLX DC. I have not put this thing through the ringer as far as beating it up and treating it poorly like I do, but it's hard to backlash it whenever you have it set that way, and you can absolutely bomb it whenever you have it more loosened up. Heck of a reel, I like it. I'll go ahead and recommend it for, you know, what it is now. If I can tear it up, we'll see about it. We'll talk to Mike over at Anglers Anonymous when we do the review on the Curado, if y'all decide y'all want me to do that, at how well they hold up. So hey, reviews from Captain Caleb TV and Cade, and we will catch you on the next one.